Cederian Morgan's recruitment's been heating up. 5-star receiver, 2026, 6'4", 210. Benjamin Russell in Alabama. So we're going to be taking a look here. You guys let me know what you think about this kid. Anybody else in the class that you want me to watch that I haven't yet? We have all summer to watch these junior year tapes, so feel free to recommend anyone. Maybe some kids I'm underrating. Feel free to disagree with me, but I'm going to try to hold my opinion until the end. In the meantime, you guys let me know what you think about this kid. Man, he got flagged for this. Like, I hope he said something because this ref's got a tight ass if he just got mad at him like dancing like that. Love to see the emotion on the field. Man, that looked like a Renaissance painting. He caught that over like 5 dudes. So the earlier reads, obviously ball skills. 6'4", certainly knows how to use his frame to win at the catch point. So that's only one aspect of being a receiver. Now we got to ask ourselves, how is he as a route runner? How is he getting open? Is he just bigger than everybody, which is not going to be the case in college? It's easy to win at 6'4" in high school just by being bigger than your average high school football player. That doesn't always translate. The size does translate, but not necessarily into a dominant receiver. So you can already see he's got pretty good body contortion, pretty good ball tracking skills. He wins this because he's bigger, don't get me wrong. It's also not a great throw. Next level, he's probably walking into the end zone here. But this is a great job to get his head around and adjust to the ball and have the flexibility to make that catch, because a lot of these guys, the 6'4" guys, they're just so tight. They're massive, but they just can't really turn around and make that catch. And then it's kind of like, what's the point of being 6'4" at that point if I can't just throw you a jump ball? So I think that aspect of the game we can already check that he's going to dominate in those situations. Looks like he's got a good vertical also. But like I said, now the question marks are, how is he as a route runner? How is he with the ball in his hands? A lot of times we can answer those questions with one play, right? Like, it's really about change of direction and release and all that, but we'll wait till we see it to make a comment on it. Yeah, he's going to be dealing with better quarterbacking at the next level. So this is a touchdown. I can't believe he scored this how he did. But looking at this route here, this is what I'm talking about. He's pretty sudden for a guy that's 6'4". When we're watching a guy like this, you just have to understand he's just never going to be as fast as the 5'8" guys. He's never going to be as good of a route runner as the highly recruited guys that are 6 inches shorter than him. You got to get something. You got to give something to get something. And you're probably going to be giving up some of the twitchiness, some of the suddenness when you have a guy that's 6'4". It just makes things so much easier for him. But this is a very good route for how tall he is. And he's wide ass open here. Keelan Russell at the next level if he ends up at Alabama, or Deuce Knight if he ends up at Auburn. Wherever he ends up, most college football players in a vacuum can make this throw. And the fact that he scored this it was a pretty good throw for a high school football player, I suppose, but he pretty much just answered that question that I was asking, right? How is he as a route runner? How is he before he has the ball in his hands? And then how is he at with the ball in his hands is Yak player, and we just got all three of those. All three phases just showed up in one play here, which you don't see too often. Because if he's a good route runner, he's usually going to be wide ass open. We won't have to see the ball skills, but it was a bad throw, so we did. Good route. Great ball skills. And then show some yak ability there. Cameraman gets an F. That's all right. So you'll see a lot of kids that are 6'4" that are just, pure jump ball guys, pure just bigger than other people, and then maybe fast in a straight line. I don't necessarily think that skill set specifically is like that hard to find. Like maybe it is, but if you're Alabama, Auburn, whoever, it's out there. It's certainly out there. But then when you start talking about suddenness at 6'4", that's when you start having a different conversation about this kid being at the top of his class. And I think that's why you see that this kid's in so many conversations with being the best receiver in the country. And another thing is just because you don't see it in a high school highlight tape doesn't mean he doesn't have it. Like, if you're 6'4" and just getting on top of everybody, these high schools aren't going to ask you to run crazy routes. It's like, what's the point if he's getting open anyway? So as a college, you got to see that. If it's not showing up on the field, I guess you have to see it at the camps, even though I really don't trust my eyes when I'm watching football not being played in pads. Just because you've seen so many kids look so good at camps, and the second they put on the helmet, it's just a completely different story. But I'm not saying that's a problem with this kid. I'm just speculating. But yeah, you're getting elite ball skills, elite frame, good route running. Just a very well-rounded receiver for him being 6'4". So that's my 2 cents. So we're going to go ahead and give him an easy 6 on the frame. I'm going to give him a 4 on the change of direction for now. Route running is very good for how big he is, but when you start getting a bit smaller, you'll see kids with a bit more suddenness to them. I'm going to give him 5 on the short area quickness. So that's graded towards the top of the receiver class. Definitely understand what schools like about this kid so much. I don't really have that many question marks, to be honest. He just fits a type, and I think he's at the high end of what you're going to be getting at 6'4". Very good receiver. Very excited to see where he ends up.